This is CBS 19 News at 5.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Sarkeesian. Today is the big day. It's Election Day, and Americans all across the country have been heading to the polls to vote for our next president. We have team coverage and we'll bring you the latest more in just a few minutes. But first, new details on the death of 10-year-old Kayla Gomez Orozco. In a press conference today, Smith County Sheriff Larry Smith announced that Gustavo Zavala Garcia was in court just after 3 this afternoon. He is formally charged with capital murder for Kayla's death and is being held on $10 million bond. Smith confirmed that Zavala Garcia was Kayla's cousin by marriage. Kayla was found inside of a well on Saturday. Now to campaign 2016, the polls are open across the country and poll watchers are reporting long lines in places that have never seen long lines before. Among those casting their ballots, both presidential candidates. Craig Boswell is at a voting location in Sterling, Virginia with the latest on this hostile campaign that is finally coming to an end. Remember that your voice can still be heard when you head to the polls, so please exercise your power to vote. If you haven't done so already, you still have time as long as you're in line by 7. Conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh is saying former President George W. Bush and his wife Laura voted for Hillary Clinton. According to reports, Limbaugh says he was told the couple voted for Clinton today. However, the Texas Tribune says a spokesman for the couple denies that report. Freddie Ford said in an email to the Tribune the former president and his wife did not vote for either major party candidate this election. Before we go live to our East Texas polling locations, let's find out if voters need to carry an umbrella. For that, we turn to meteorologist Doc Deason in the Weather Center. Doc.
Hi, Jacqueline. Good to have you here this evening. We've got ourselves a pretty cloudy setup across the area right now. We're backing it off to a very modest 64, Jacqueline, by 10 o'clock. More on the 7-day forecast and hopefully some additional rainfall. Also updates on the burn bans in just a couple minutes, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Doc. Well, back home, thousands of East Texans have been casting their ballots today, making sure their voices are heard. In Tyler, the polls are still buzzing this afternoon. That's where we find our CBS 19's Brett Vetter. Brett, how's it going out there?
It's going great. Reporting in Tyler, Brett Vetter, CBS 19.
Thank you, Brett. We have team coverage across East Texas, taking over to Gregg County now. That's where CBS 19's Kenley Hargett Jr. joins us live at the Longview Community Center. Kenley?
Reporting in Longview, Kenley Hargett, CBS 19.
Thank you, Kenley. Our CBS 19 election team will be here for you tonight as the election results start rolling in. We will have special guest Mike Snyder and a political analysis here to give you comprehensive Vote 2016 coverage. It happens every presidential election. People say that if their candidate doesn't win, they'll be packing up and moving to Canada. You guys have heard this before, right? Well, Ben Briscoe from our station in Greensboro, North Carolina, explores the reality of people actually moving up north after the election. Several celebrities are threatening to get out of here should Donald Trump win. Just to name a few, we've got Cher, Barbra Streisand, even comedians Amy Schumer and Chelsea Handler are all saying that they will leave the country. Coming up with our hectic schedules and busy lives, finding the time to cast your ballot can be tough. Find out what parents are doing to make sure they're able to vote. Plus, one Texas woman says she's waited her whole life for today. A woman running for president. But first, here's a look at today's closing numbers from Wall Street. All of them are up. Welcome back. An elderly Houston voter says she has waited a lifetime for a woman to take over the White House. Now that could happen if Hillary Clinton wins the presidency. Rux Russell from our sister station in Houston has the story. New Yorkers haven't let their busy lifestyles distract them from voting. In fact, some parents have brought their kids to voting stations. It was a family affair for voters casting their ballots in Brooklyn today. You can see in the video, babies got a little anxious for the big day, grabbing their parents' ballots while they try to vote for our next president. The New York cemetery where Susan B. Anthony is buried has had a few visitors lately. Many people are paying their respects to the leader of the women's suffrage movement. Take a look at this. Traffic is so high that the cemetery decided to extend its hours today to give everyone enough time to visit her grave. Why visit? Well, Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren says visiting Anthony's gravesite has become an election day rite of passage for many citizens, with visitors leaving their "I voted" stickers at her gravesite. Anthony fought for women's rights but died in 1906, just 14 years before women won the right to vote. Warner also says regardless of who they voted for, all the women visiting Anthony's grave are celebrating the fact that they can vote. Warner says it's so great to see everyone paying their respects to someone so important in our history. Still ahead, the world-famous naked cowboy is showing us who he's voting for. Coming up right after the break, find out who he wants to become our next president. And Doc is here with your forecast. Doc?
Hey, thanks so much, Jacqueline. And there's Sunday. A little bit on the cool side for church, but not bad.
Yeah, that looks good, Doc.
I thought you liked that.
I like your forecast. You can stay.
Thank you much, as you can as well.
Well, you should really stay for this. Check out this story trending online. The world-famous naked cowboy is sharing who he's supporting for in the election.
Trump's gonna build a wall. It's gonna protect us all. Sounds like a good idea to me.
The naked cowboy played in Times Square today to drop support for Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Robert Burke, along with two other street performers, brought in quite the crowd. They wore these bad boys politically themed costumes. By the looks of it, many people enjoyed what they saw. They stood around snapping pictures with them. Interesting right there. Well, it's time to start talking turkey. In this week's Everyday Gourmet, some side dishes that made a delicious addition to your holiday meal. That's after the break. It's time to start planning Thanksgiving dinner, and we all know this. Side dishes are very important. In this week's Everyday Gourmet, Christine Gardner has a twist on Brussels sprouts. Yummy, she's right, that looks absolutely delicious. Next week, Christine shows us how to make an easy homemade pumpkin pie. Coming up, a look at what we're working on for CBS 19 News at 6, plus a final look at our evening planner right after the break. Doc is here with a final look at your forecast. Doc, what can you tell us?
A little bit of light rain, that's going to be about it. Let's look outside and see what we have cooking. Widespread.
Not bad. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Brian Bose joins us now with what we're working on for 6. Brian?
Hey, Jacqueline. Hope things are going well. What a busy night, and we've got people all over the place. Jacqueline?
Thank you, Brian. Well, we don't know yet who is becoming our next president, but a Russian polar bear and tigress have been making their predictions about the outcome. You have to see this video.
Okay.
Look at this. More video coming later on tonight. So thank you for joining us. That's our show. Have a great night.